The Stress Detox, How to Cleanse Your Mind and Find Quiet, a motivational audiobook by the Protocols of Astrian. Do you ever feel like your brain has too many browser tabs open at once and you cannot find the one that is playing the music? You are not broken, and you are not failing at life. You are simply living in a world that never stops buzzing, and your mind is begging for a break. This book is not another long list of things you should be doing better. It is actually your permission slip to stop doing so much and start feeling like yourself again. Think of it as a gentle weekend getaway for your thoughts without ever having to pack a suitcase. We are going to clear out the mental clutter together, one small step at a time. Welcome home. This journey we are about to take is not about becoming a different person. It is about peeling away all the noise and worry that has been covering up the calm person who has been there all along. You will not find any complicated rules or fancy words inside these pages, because real peace does not require a manual. What you will find are simple tools and kind reminders that quiet is not something you have to earn. It is something you already deserve and can return to any time you need it. So take a deep breath and let it out slow. Your reset button is right here waiting for you to press it. Chapter 1. What's cluttering your mind? Imagine your mind is a beautiful room that you live in every single day. Now take an honest look around and notice all the things scattered on the floor and piled on the furniture. There are worries about tomorrow sitting on the couch and old conversations that did not go well stacked in the corner. There are lists of chores covering the coffee table and fears about what people think hanging on the walls like old dusty curtains. This clutter did not appear all at once, and it will not disappear overnight, but we have to see it before we can clean it. The first step of any good detox is simply recognizing what is weighing you down. You have been carrying so much for so long, and no wonder you feel tired. Let us finally open the windows and let some light in so you can see what truly belongs in your space. The world loves to tell you that you need to fill every empty moment with something productive or entertaining. Your phone buzzes with news, and your email fills with demands, and your brain starts to believe that quiet means wasting time. But the truth is that constant noise is actually stealing your energy and leaving you feeling empty inside. You might not even realize how much mental junk food you have been consuming every day without thinking about it. The anxious thoughts that play on repeat and the comparisons to others that sting so deeply are all part of this clutter. They take up space that could be filled with peace and creativity and simple joy. By the end of this chapter, you will start to see these patterns clearly for the first time. And once you see them, you can finally begin letting them go. You might be surprised to learn that not all mental clutter looks like stress and worry. Sometimes it looks like busyness that makes you feel important and needed by everyone around you. It can feel good to be the person who handles everything and never says no to anyone who asks for help. But underneath that busy surface, there is often a fear of slowing down and facing what is really inside. Keeping yourself constantly occupied is actually a very clever way to avoid listening to your own heart. This chapter will help you gently explore whether your schedule is protecting you or exhausting you. There is no judgment here, only curiosity about why you do what you do. You are allowed to put down the weight of always doing and just be still for a moment. Let us talk about the stories you tell yourself, because those stories are some of the biggest clutter of all. Maybe you tell yourself that you are not good enough, or that you always mess things up when they matter most. These stories have been repeated so many times that they feel like solid truth instead of just old habits. They sit in your mind and whisper loudly whenever you try something new or step outside your comfort zone. The problem is that most of these stories were written a long time ago by someone who did not know how strong you would become. You have the power to rewrite them now and clear out the lies that have taken up residence in your heart. This chapter is your invitation to question every thought that makes you feel small. You might discover that the biggest source of your stress is simply a story you forgot you were allowed to change. Another sneaky form of clutter is all the shoulds that run through your head from morning until night. You should exercise more, and you should call your mother, and you should have a cleaner house, and you should be further along in life by now. These shoulds come from everywhere like society and family, and even strangers on the internet who seem to have perfect lives. They create a constant background noise that makes you feel behind even when you are running as fast as you can. The truth is that should is one of the heaviest words in the English language, and it does not belong in a peaceful mind. This chapter will help you sort through which goals are truly yours and which ones you can kindly return to sender. Imagine how much lighter you will feel when you stop carrying expectations that were never yours to hold. That freedom is closer than you think, and it starts with noticing what you have been carrying. By the time you finish this chapter, you will have a much clearer picture of what is actually happening inside your head every day. You will start to notice the moments when your mind fills up with noise and the triggers that send you spiraling into worry. This awareness is not meant to make you feel bad about yourself, but to give you a map of the territory you want to change. You cannot clear a path through the woods if you do not know where the trees are standing in your way. So celebrate this first step, because noticing is the beginning of every real transformation that ever happened. Your mind has been trying to protect you with all this clutter, but now you can thank it and gently start tidying up. The quiet you have been looking for is hiding right underneath all of this, and it is finally time to find it. Chapter 2. Your phone is not your friend, and that's okay. Let us be honest about the little rectangle that goes everywhere with you and sleeps beside you every single night. It buzzes and lights up and calls your name, constantly asking for just one more minute of your attention. You love it and you hate it, and you cannot imagine life without it, which is exactly how a bad relationship feels. Your phone promises connection, but often leaves you feeling more alone and anxious than before you picked it up. It shows you everyone else having fun while you sit there scrolling and wondering why your life looks different. This chapter is not about throwing your phone in the river or moving to a cabin with no Wi-Fi. It is about gently waking up to the truth that your device works for you and not the other way around. The people who designed your phone are very smart, and they figured out exactly how to keep you looking at it for hours. Every notification is a tiny reward that gives your brain a little hit of something that feels good in the moment. The colors are bright, and the sounds are pleasant, and the endless scrolling never runs out of new things to show you. It is not your fault that you get stuck, because these apps were literally built to capture your attention and hold it hostage. But your attention is the most valuable thing you own, and giving it away all day leaves you feeling empty and drained. This chapter will help you see the tricks without feeling angry at yourself for falling for them. You can learn to use technology without letting it use you up completely. Think about all the quiet moments that your phone has stolen from you without you even noticing it was happening. The time waiting in line could have been a moment to breathe and look around at the world passing by. The few minutes before sleep could have been a chance to let your mind drift softly toward pleasant thoughts and dreams. Instead, those moments got filled with news and arguments and photos of people living lives that are probably not as perfect as they seem. Your phone has become very good at filling every empty space so that you never have to be alone with yourself. But being alone with yourself is actually where peace lives, and where you remember who you are underneath all the noise. This chapter invites you to take back those small moments and discover how good they can feel again. You might worry that stepping back from your phone will make you miss something important or fall behind in some way. What if someone needs you and you do not respond fast enough? Or what if you miss a funny video everyone is talking about tomorrow? These fears are real, and they show how deeply connected we have all become to these little devices in our pockets. But let us think about what you are actually missing while you are staring at the screen instead of living your life. You are missing the feeling of sunshine on your face and the sound of real laughter from someone sitting right next to you. You are missing the chance to be bored, which is actually where creativity and new ideas love to show up. The world will keep spinning even if you do not see every post, and your people will still love you even if you reply later. Let us try a small experiment together that might feel uncomfortable at first, but could change everything for you. Pick 1 hour today where you put your phone in another room or inside a drawer where you cannot see it glowing. Notice how your hand feels empty and your mind feels restless, and you might even feel a little bit lost without it nearby. That uncomfortable feeling is actually withdrawal, and it proves just how hooked your brain has become on the constant stimulation. But stay with that feeling for a little while and see what happens when you let it just be there without reaching for the phone. You might find yourself talking to someone, or looking out the window, or remembering something you wanted to do for yourself. The quiet might feel strange at first, but it will slowly start to feel like coming home after a very long trip. By the end of this chapter, you will have some simple new habits that protect your peace without cutting you off from the world completely. You might decide that mornings belong to you before the notifications get their turn to speak. You might create phone-free zones in your home like the dinner table or your bedroom where rest actually gets to happen. You will learn that putting your phone away is not punishment, but a gift you give yourself over and over again. The goal is not perfection because sometimes you will fall back into scrolling, and that is completely human and okay. The goal is awareness and balance, and remembering that you are the one in charge of your attention. Your phone can be a useful tool without being your constant companion, and that changes everything. Chapter 3: The Art of Saying a Gentle No. There is a tiny word that holds more power than almost anything else you can ever say, and that word is no. It feels sharp and scary, and you probably worry that saying it will make people upset or think less of you. You have spent so much of your life saying yes to everyone else that no might sound like a foreign language in your mouth. But every time you say yes to something you do not want to do, you are actually saying no to yourself. You are saying no to your rest and your peace and your time and your energy that never seems to come back. This chapter is about learning to say no in a way that feels kind and gentle instead of harsh and mean. You deserve to protect your space without feeling guilty about it for one single second. Think about what happens inside your body when someone asks you for something, and you immediately feel that familiar pressure. Your stomach might tighten and your chest might feel heavy because you already know you want to say no. But before you can stop yourself, your mouth opens, and yes comes flying out like it has a mind of its own. Then later you are stuck doing something you never wanted to do and feeling secretly resentful toward the person who asked. The worst part is that they probably had no idea you did not want to help because you smiled and agreed so nicely. This pattern drains your energy and builds a quiet anger that grows larger every time you ignore your own feelings. Learning to pause before answering can break this cycle and give you back your power. You might believe that saying no makes you a bad person, or that you owe everyone your time whenever they ask for it. These beliefs probably started a long time ago when you learned that being good meant making others happy, no matter the cost. But here is the truth that will set you free if you let it sink in deep enough to believe it. Your time and energy are not unlimited resources that everyone gets to take from whenever they feel like it. You are allowed to have boundaries, and those boundaries actually make your yes mean so much more when you finally give it. The people who truly love you will understand when you gently say no sometimes. And the people who get angry at your no are showing you that they were only interested in what you could do for them. Let us practice together how a gentle no might actually sound coming out of your mouth in real life. You can say that you need to check your schedule first instead of agreeing right away when you feel pressured. You can say that you are honoring your rest right now and cannot take on anything else at the moment. You can say that you simply do not have the energy for this right now and mean it without apologizing. Notice that none of these responses include long explanations or excuses that invite the other person to argue with you. A simple no does not need a defense because your reasons belong to you and you do not have to share them. Your no is complete all by itself, and it deserves to stand alone without you shrinking behind it. There is something beautiful that happens when you start saying no more often to the things that drain you. You suddenly have space and energy for the things that actually light you up and make you feel alive inside. You can say yes to a walk in the park, because you are not exhausted from doing things you hated all week. You can say yes to sitting with a friend who is really struggling because you have something left to give at the end of the day. Your yes becomes a gift instead of an obligation, and people can feel the difference in how you show up for them. You will also notice that you respect yourself more because you are finally keeping the promises you made to yourself. This is not selfishness, even though the world might try to tell you otherwise. This is self-preservation, and it is absolutely necessary for a peaceful life. By the time you finish this chapter, you will have new tools for protecting your energy with grace and kindness. You will practice saying no in small situations first, so your voice gets stronger for the bigger moments. You will learn to recognize the difference between requests that fit your life and demands that belong to someone else entirely. You will also discover that people actually respect you more when you are honest about your limits instead of pretending you can do everything. The world will not fall apart when you start saying no, and neither will your relationships. What will fall apart is the exhaustion and resentment that have been quietly building up inside you for years. And what will grow in its place is a peaceful confidence that you can finally take care of yourself the way you deserve. Chapter 4. Breathing Your Way to Quiet. Right now, as you read these words, there is something happening inside your body that keeps you alive every single moment. You do not have to think about it or try hard to make it happen, because it just does its job automatically. Your breath moves in and out of your body thousands of times every day without you ever noticing it at all. But what if you started noticing it? And what if that simple act could change how stressed you feel in just a few minutes? Your breath is not just for staying alive, because it is also the most powerful tool you own for finding peace. It is always with you, and it costs nothing, and it cannot be taken away no matter what happens in your life. This chapter will teach you how to use your breath like a secret weapon against stress and worry. When you are stressed, your body thinks it is in danger, and your breathing becomes fast and shallow like you are being chased. This is an ancient survival response that kept your ancestors safe from tigers, but now it fires off during traffic jams and difficult emails. Your heart races and your muscles tense, and your mind starts looking everywhere for threats that probably do not even exist. But here is the amazing part that you can use to your advantage starting right now. You can actually tell your body that it is safe just by changing the way you breathe on purpose. A long, slow breath out tells your nervous system that the danger has passed, and it can finally relax again. You have the power to flip this switch anytime you want, and all it takes is paying attention. Let us try something simple together that will only take a minute, and you can do it right where you are sitting. Take a normal breath in through your nose, and then try to make your breath out last just a little bit longer than usual. Let your shoulders drop down away from your ears and notice if your jaw is tight, and let it soften too. Do it again, but this time imagine you are blowing through a straw very slowly, like you are trying to make a candle flame flicker without going out. Feel how your body starts to settle down almost like magic as soon as you give it this signal of safety. This is not complicated meditation that requires special cushions and hours of practice in silence. This is just you remembering that you already have everything you need to feel better inside. You might wonder how something so simple could possibly make a difference when your problems feel so big and heavy. It seems too easy, and you have probably tried so many things that did not work before in your life. But breathing works because it talks directly to your body in a language it understands without needing your brain to figure anything out. You cannot think your way out of feeling stressed because your thinking brain is part of the problem when you are anxious. Your breath bypasses all that noise and speaks straight to your nervous system, where real calm actually lives. It is like having a remote control for your emotions that has been sitting in your pocket this whole time unnoticed. Once you start using it, you will wonder why nobody ever told you about this sooner. The beautiful thing about using your breath is that nobody else even has to know you are doing it at all. You can be sitting in a meeting that feels overwhelming and secretly send your body calming signals without anyone noticing. You can be lying in bed at 3 in the morning with your mind racing, and use your breath to gently guide yourself back towards sleep. You can be standing in a long line feeling your patience disappear, and take a few slow breaths that bring you back to center. Your breath is your secret friend that goes everywhere with you and never complains about being asked for help. It does not require special equipment or apps or subscriptions to work its magic every single time. It just waits patiently for you to remember that it is there and ready whenever you need it. By the time you finish this chapter, you will have several different breathing techniques that fit into different situations in your life. You will learn about breathing that energizes you in the morning and breathing that calms you down before bed at night. You will discover that just 3 deep breaths can change the entire direction of your day when things start going wrong. You will start to notice how often you hold your breath without realizing it and how good it feels to let it go. Your breath will become a friend you turn to instead of a background function you ignore completely. And over time, this simple practice will build a foundation of calm that nothing can shake as easily as before. The quiet you have been searching for is literally as close as your next breath in and out. Chapter 5. The Power of a Pity Party. There is a strange belief in our world that feeling sad or angry means something has gone wrong with you. You are supposed to be positive and grateful, and look on the bright side no matter what happens in your life. But here is the truth that nobody tells you about feelings that show up unwanted and uninvited. They do not go away just because you ignore them or pretend you are fine when you are not fine at all. They actually get louder and push harder until you finally stop running and turn around to face them. This chapter gives you permission to stop running and throw yourself a real, honest pity party instead. You are allowed to feel whatever you feel without apologizing or explaining it to anyone, including yourself. Imagine that your feelings are like little children who need attention and care from someone who loves them. If you ignore a child who is upset, they will usually scream louder and follow you around until you finally notice them. The same thing happens with your sadness and anger and fear when you try to push them away constantly. They show up in your dreams or make you snap at people you love or create tight knots in your shoulders that never loosen. But if you sit down with that upset child for just a few minutes and really listen, they usually calm down pretty quickly. Your feelings just want to be heard and acknowledged, and they will often leave peacefully once you give them that gift. This chapter will teach you how to sit with your feelings without being afraid of them anymore. Let us plan your pity party together and decide exactly how it should look when you decide to have one. You might want to close your bedroom door and put on music that matches how you feel inside right now. You might want to write down every terrible thought in a journal without censoring yourself or trying to fix anything. You might want to cry into a pillow or punch your bed or just sit still and let the feelings wash over you completely. The important thing is that you give yourself a specific amount of time, like 10 minutes or half an hour, to feel it all. When the time is up, you thank your feelings for showing up and gently let them know the party is over. This is not about staying stuck in sadness forever, but about letting it move through you instead of getting stuck inside. You might worry that if you let yourself feel sad, you will fall into a hole and never be able to climb back out again. This fear keeps so many people running from their feelings their whole lives without ever finding real peace. But feelings are actually like waves in the ocean that rise up and crash, and then recede back into the water naturally. They are not designed to stay forever, and they cannot drown you if you stop fighting against them so hard. The only feelings that get stuck are the ones you refuse to acknowledge and push down deep where they cannot be seen. When you give them space to exist, they usually do their job and move on like they were always meant to do. Trust that you are strong enough to feel your feelings without being destroyed by them, because you absolutely are. There is something surprising that happens when you stop fighting your difficult feelings and let them have their moment. You start to notice that underneath the sadness, there is often something else waiting to be discovered by you. Maybe there is a need that has not been met, or a boundary that got crossed, or a dream that you gave up on too soon. Your feelings are not your enemies trying to ruin your day, but messengers bringing important news about your inner world. They tell you when something hurts so you can protect yourself, and when something is unfair so you can speak up. Learning to listen to your feelings without judgment turns them from problems into guides that help you live more authentically. You will start to trust yourself more because you know you can handle whatever emotions show up at your door. By the time you finish this chapter, you will no longer be afraid of your own sad or angry feelings when they appear. You will have a plan for what to do when the wave hits, and you will know that it will pass just like all the others before. You will understand that having a good cry is not weakness but wisdom and courage to face what is real inside you. You will also notice that your happy feelings feel deeper and richer because you are not blocking half of your emotional world anymore. The people around you might even feel more connected to you because you are showing up as a whole real person instead of pretending. Your pity parties will become a normal part of your life that you accept instead of fight against. And you will discover that letting yourself feel bad sometimes is actually the fastest way back to feeling good again. Chapter 6. Sweating out the static. Have you ever noticed how your body feels when stress has been hanging around for too long without anywhere to go? Your shoulders creep up toward your ears, and your jaw clenches tight, and your back starts aching for no clear reason at all. Stress is not just something that happens in your head because it lives in your muscles and your bones and your blood too. It builds up like static electricity until you feel like you might crackle and spark if someone gets too close to you. Your body has been carrying this weight for you without complaining, and it deserves some help letting it all go. This chapter is about moving your body in ways that release the stress trapped inside and leave you feeling lighter. You do not need to become an athlete or join a gym because simple movement is all it takes to shake the static loose. Think back to when you were a child and you felt upset about something that happened during your day. You probably ran around outside or jumped on your bed or danced like crazy until you forgot what was bothering you completely. Children know instinctively that moving their bodies helps feelings move through and get released naturally without getting stuck. Somewhere along the way you learn to sit still and be quiet and handle your problems with your thinking brain instead. But your thinking brain cannot always fix what your body needs to release through physical movement and sweat. This chapter is inviting you to remember what you knew as a child about the magic of simply moving. Your body has wisdom that your mind cannot access, and it is time to start listening to it again. You might have ideas about what exercise is supposed to look like that make you not want to do it at all. Maybe you think you have to go to a gym and wear special clothes and feel embarrassed next to people who look like they belong there. Maybe you think exercise has to hurt and last for an hour and leave you exhausted to count as real movement. But none of that is true, and those beliefs have been keeping you from one of the best stress medicines available to anyone. Movement can be a slow walk around your neighborhood where you notice the flowers growing and the clouds passing by. Movement can be putting on your favorite song from high school and dancing like nobody is watching through your living room. It can be stretching on your floor like a cat waking up from a nap without any goal except feeling better. Let us talk about what happens inside your body when you move it with intention and joy instead of punishment. Your brain releases chemicals that actually lift your mood and quiet down the worried voices that talk too much sometimes. Your muscles let go of the tension they have been holding for you, and your breathing deepens naturally without you having to force it. Your mind gets a break from circling the same stressful thoughts because it has to focus on what your body is doing right now. This is not about changing how your body looks, but about changing how your body feels from the inside out. The goal is not a number on a scale, but the feeling of static leaving your system and peace moving in to take its place. You deserve to feel good in your body, no matter what size or shape it happens to be today. There are so many ways to move your body that you can choose whatever actually sounds fun instead of punishing. You could try jumping on a trampoline, which is impossible to do without smiling at least a little bit while you bounce. You could put on headphones and go for a walk where you are not trying to get anywhere, but just moving for the sake of moving. You could find a video online of someone leading gentle stretching and follow along in your pajamas without anyone watching. You could turn on music and clean your house with extra energy pretending you are in a musical movie montage. The point is not what you do, but that you do something that reminds your body it is alive and meant to move. When you find movement that feels good, it stops being a chore and starts being something you actually look forward to. By the time you finish this chapter, you will have a new relationship with your body and how it helps you handle stress. You will start to notice when tension is building and choose to move instead of letting it sit and grow inside you. You will discover that a 5-minute dance break can change the whole direction of your afternoon when things feel heavy. You will stop thinking of exercise as something you have to do and start thinking of it as something you get to do for yourself. Your body will thank you for finally listening to what it has been trying to tell you all along. The static will have somewhere to go, and you will feel cleaner and clearer after every single time you move. Your body and mind will become partners again, working together to keep you peaceful and strong. Chapter 7. Taming the To-Do List Monster. There is a monster living in your pocket or on your fridge that probably causes you more stress than almost anything else in your life. It starts out innocent enough with just a few simple things you need to remember to get done during your day. But somehow it grows and multiplies until it is longer than your arm and full of things you will never actually finish. Every time you look at it, you feel a little more tired and a little more behind and a little more like you are failing at being a person. The to-do list was supposed to help you, but somewhere along the way it became your boss instead of your tool. This chapter is about taming that monster and putting it back in its place where it cannot run your life anymore. You are going to learn how to make your list work for you instead of against you starting right now. The first problem with most to-do lists is that they mix everything together without any sense of what actually matters most. You have buy toothpaste right next to plan retirement and call plumber next to finally follow your dreams. Your brain sees one giant mountain of tasks and feels overwhelmed before it even starts trying to climb anything at all. No wonder you feel stuck and paralyzed, because your list is asking you to do the impossible all at once. The secret to taming this monster is learning how to separate the urgent from the important and the necessary from the noise. Not everything on your list actually needs to be done today or even this week at all. You have permission to look at your list with fresh eyes and start making some honest decisions about what truly belongs there. Let us talk about the beautiful word that nobody uses enough when it comes to getting things done in life. That word is enough, and it can set you free if you let it sink deep into your bones where you can feel it. You have done enough today, even if your list still has things left on it that did not get crossed off yet. You are enough exactly as you are without needing to prove your worth through endless productivity and accomplishment. The world will keep spinning even if you do not get to every single thing you plan for yourself today. This is not an excuse to be lazy, but an invitation to be realistic about what one human can actually do in a day. When you accept that enough is truly enough, the monster loses most of its power to scare you. There is a trick that can change your whole relationship with your to-do list, and it is almost embarrassingly simple to try. Pick just 3 things that absolutely must get done today and write them down separately from everything else on your mind. Everything else becomes a bonus if you get to it, and completely fine if you do not get to it at all. When you finish those 3 things, you are allowed to stop and rest and feel good about what you accomplished. This keeps you from the trap of working all day and still feeling like you did nothing because the list never ends. Your brain gets to experience completion and success instead of constant ongoing failure to reach an impossible finish line. 3 things done well is infinitely better than 20 things started and nothing finished at all. You might also need to look at your list and ask yourself whose tasks are really on there anyway. Some items might belong to other people who should be doing them for themselves instead of expecting you to handle everything. Some items might be things you think you should want, but do not actually care about at all when you are honest with yourself. Some items might be from so long ago that they do not even matter anymore, but you keep them there out of habit. Clearing out these tasks is like cleaning out a closet full of clothes that do not fit and you will never wear again. It feels so good to let them go and make space for what actually matters to you right now. Your list should reflect your life as it is today, not your guilt about yesterday or your worry about tomorrow. By the end of this chapter, you will have a completely different way of thinking about everything you need to get done. You will know how to look at a long list without panicking and how to choose what really deserves your precious time and energy. You will learn to celebrate what you accomplish instead of focusing only on what is left waiting for you tomorrow. You will understand that rest is not something you earn after the list is done, but something you need along the way to keep going. The monster will shrink down to a manageable size that you can handle without feeling overwhelmed every time you see it. Your days will feel less like a race you are losing and more like a gentle rhythm you can actually keep up with. And you will finally believe that you are enough even on the days when nothing on the list gets done at all. Chapter 8. Finding Your Pockets of Peace. There is a common belief that peace requires hours of free time and a special quiet place far away from your normal life. You might think that if you could just get away to a cabin in the woods or a beach with no people, you would finally relax. But the truth is that real peace does not need big blocks of time or expensive vacations to show up in your life. It is actually hiding in small moments all throughout your ordinary day, waiting for you to notice them. These are your pockets of peace, and they are everywhere once you start looking for them with intention. This chapter will teach you how to find these tiny moments and how to make them a regular part of your everyday life. You do not need to escape your life to find peace, because peace has been inside your life all along. Think about the very first moment of your morning before your feet even touch the floor and the day starts rushing in. There is a tiny pocket of peace right there in the quiet darkness where you are still half dreaming and fully resting. Most people grab their phone immediately and fill that pocket with noise and news and demands from the outside world. But what if you just lay there for 1 minute feeling your breath and noticing that you are still here alive and okay? That 1 minute belongs only to you and nobody can take it away or demand anything from you during that time. It is small, but it is real, and it can set a different tone for your whole day if you let it. These small moments add up to something much bigger than you might expect over time. Consider all the waiting that you do during a normal day without even thinking about how much time it adds up to. You wait in line at the grocery store, and you wait for your coffee to brew, and you wait at red lights that seem to last forever. These moments usually feel annoying, and you fill them with your phone to make the time pass faster without noticing. But each one of these moments is actually a hidden pocket of peace that you could choose to open instead. You could take 3 slow breaths while you wait and feel your feet on the ground and look at the sky for a second. You could notice the way the light looks right now or the faces of people passing by without any judgment at all. Waiting stops being frustrating and starts being an opportunity to come back to yourself for just a moment. The pockets of peace can also be found in the routines you already do every single day without thinking about them. The first sip of coffee in the morning when you are not ready to talk to anyone yet can be a whole moment of peace by itself. The warm water in the shower washing over you can be a chance to let go of yesterday and arrive fresh in today. The few minutes before you fall asleep when your eyes are closed and your thoughts are slowing down naturally belong to you completely. These are not extra things you have to add to your already full schedule because they are already there waiting. You just have to show up for them with your full attention instead of rushing through on your way to somewhere else. Your ordinary life is full of peace disguised as everyday moments that you have been missing. You might worry that stopping to notice these small moments will make you less productive or fall behind on everything you need to do. But the opposite is actually true, because these moments of peace recharge you and make everything else easier to handle. A 1-minute pause can save you an hour of frustration later because you will be calmer and clearer in your thinking. These pockets are not taking time away from your life, but giving time back to you in a way that actually matters. You will start to notice that you have more patience and more energy when you regularly dip into these small moments of quiet. Your day will feel less like a long list of tasks and more like a series of moments you get to experience. And you will wonder how you ever lived without these tiny breaks that cost nothing but give everything. By the time you finish this chapter, you will start seeing pockets of peace everywhere you look throughout your day. You will find them in the middle of work, and in between chores and during conversations when you take a breath before responding. You will learn to collect these moments like small treasures that nobody else can see, but you know are there keeping you steady. Your phone will stay in your pocket more often because you will prefer the peace of waiting to the noise of scrolling. You will realize that you do not need more time because you have been given enough moments already if you just notice them. Your life will feel richer and fuller not because anything changed outside, but because you changed how you see everything inside. Peace was never missing from your life, it was just waiting for you to finally notice it standing right there. Chapter 9. Building a Fort for Your Mind. Do you remember building forts when you were a child, using blankets and pillows and chairs arranged just right? That fort was your special place where the world could not reach you, and you felt completely safe and hidden away. You could be yourself in that fort without anyone watching or judging, or expecting anything from you at all. As you grew up, you stopped building physical forts, but your mind still needs a safe place to retreat when things get too loud. This chapter is about building a fort for your mind where you can go anytime the world feels like too much to handle. It can be a real place in your home, or an imaginary place inside your head that belongs only to you. Either way, you deserve a space that feels completely safe and yours alone, without any conditions attached. Let us start by thinking about what a physical fort might look like in your home where you live right now. It does not need to be a whole room because a comfortable chair in the corner with a soft blanket can become your special spot. It might be a window seat where you can look outside and watch the world go by without having to be part of it. You could put a small basket nearby with things that comfort you like a book or a candle or a smooth stone you like to hold. This spot becomes a signal to your brain that says you are safe now and nothing can get you here for a little while. You do not have to explain this spot to anyone or justify why you need it because your peace is reason enough. Your body will learn to relax the moment you sit down because it knows this place means rest is allowed. Maybe you do not have a physical space that feels private enough to be your fort, and that is okay too. You can build a fort inside your mind that you carry with you everywhere you go no matter where you are. Close your eyes and imagine a place where you feel completely peaceful like a forest or a beach or a cozy room in a cabin. Fill that place with details that feel good to you like the sound of birds or the smell of rain or the feeling of soft blankets. Practice going there in your mind when you are calm so your brain learns the path to find it easily later. When stress hits, you can close your eyes for a moment and slip away to your secret place where nothing can follow. This mental fort is always open and never too far away because it lives right inside your own imagination. Your fort needs some rules to keep it safe and peaceful, just like the forts you built as a child had rules too. No work is allowed inside your fort, and no worrying about things you cannot control right now. Other people cannot come into your fort unless you specifically invite them, and they respect your space completely. Your phone does not get to come into your fort because that is like inviting the whole noisy world to follow you inside. You get to decide how long you stay, and when you leave and nobody gets to rush you or make you feel guilty. These rules are not mean or selfish because they protect something precious that belongs only to you. Your fort is your sanctuary, and sanctuaries need boundaries to stay sacred and safe. Think about what you want to keep inside your fort that brings you comfort and helps you feel peaceful when you are there. Maybe you want a cup of tea that warms your hands and a blanket that feels soft against your skin after a long day. Maybe you want music without words or the sound of rain playing quietly in the background while you just sit and breathe. Maybe you want a journal where you can write down whatever is in your heart without anyone ever reading it but you. You might want pictures of people you love or nothing at all except silence and space to just be yourself. Your fort can change over time as you change, and that is perfectly fine because it belongs to you completely. Fill it with whatever helps you remember who you are underneath all the roles you play for everyone else. By the time you finish this chapter, you will have a clear picture of your own personal fort and how to get there anytime you need it. You will know whether you need a physical corner of your home or an imaginary place in your mind, or maybe both at different times. You will have practiced going there enough times that your brain can find the way easily even when stress is loud around you. You will understand that taking time in your fort is not running away from your problems, but gathering strength to face them better. The world will keep spinning while you are in your fort, and you can return to it whenever you are ready. Your fort will become one of your most important tools for staying peaceful in a world that does not always understand your need for quiet. And you will always have somewhere safe to go no matter what happens in your life outside its walls. Chapter 10. The comfort of a simple routine. There is something about this word routine that makes many people feel bored or trapped, like they are living the same day over and over again. You might think that spontaneity is the key to happiness, and that routines will steal all the joy and surprise from your life. But what if routines are actually the opposite of boring, and instead they are the foundation that freedom is built upon? Think about how much energy you waste every day deciding when to eat and when to sleep, and what to do first when you wake up. All those small decisions add up to mental exhaustion that leaves you with less energy for things that actually matter. A simple routine takes those decisions off your plate so your brain can rest instead of constantly choosing. This chapter will help you build routines that comfort you instead of chaining you down. Let us start with the morning, because how you begin your day often sets the tone for everything that follows after it. Imagine waking up and already knowing what you are going to do for the first hour without having to think about it at all. You might have tea and sit by the window, or stretch your body gently, or write down one thing you are looking forward to today. Your brain does not have to make decisions during this time because your routine has already decided for you in a good way. This leaves your mind free to just be present and ease into the day instead of being jolted awake by demands. Your morning becomes something you look forward to instead of something you rush through to get to the hard parts. A soft morning routine is like a gentle hand guiding you into your day instead of a loud alarm pushing you out of bed. Evenings deserve their own gentle routine that helps your mind and body know it is time to slow down and rest. You might notice that you have trouble falling asleep because your brain is still running through everything that happened today. An evening routine sends a signal to your whole system that the day is over and it is safe to power down now. This could be as simple as dimming the lights an hour before bed and putting your phone away in another room. You might read a few pages of a book that is not too exciting or listen to calm music while you brush your teeth slowly. Your body will learn to recognize these signals and start producing sleepy feelings automatically when your routine begins. Sleep will come easier and deeper because you have prepared yourself for rest instead of crashing into bed still wide awake inside. You might worry that a routine will make your life feel predictable and boring and steal all the magic out of your days. But think about how children thrive on routine, because it makes them feel safe and secure enough to explore the world bravely. When you know what to expect, your brain can relax and save its energy for the surprises that actually deserve your attention. Routine creates a container that holds you steady while life does its wild, unpredictable dance all around you. The magic does not disappear because you have a routine, it just shows up in different places you might not have noticed before. You will have more energy for spontaneity because you are not exhausted from making a million tiny decisions all day long. Routine is not the enemy of freedom, it is actually the best friend freedom ever had. The key to a good routine is keeping it simple enough that you can actually follow it without feeling like you are failing. If your morning routine has 20 steps, you will probably give up by day 3 and feel bad about yourself for quitting. Start with just 1 or 2 things that truly make a difference in how you feel and build from there very slowly. Your routine should feel like a comfort, not a chore, and if it stops feeling good, you can change it anytime you want. You are the boss of your routine, and not the other way around like many people believe is true. You can have different routines for different seasons of your life, because you are always changing and growing. The goal is not perfection, but consistency and kindness toward yourself as you build new habits that support your peace. By the end of this chapter, you will have created simple morning and evening routines that actually fit your life and feel good to follow. You will notice that your days have more flow and less friction, because you are not fighting against yourself constantly. Your stress will decrease simply because your brain has fewer decisions to make and more space to just be present. You will start looking forward to your routines like small gifts you give yourself every single day without fail. The people around you might even benefit because you will be calmer and more present when you are with them. Your life will not become boring, it will become peaceful in a way you never knew was possible before. And you will wonder why you waited so long to give yourself the gift of a simple routine that holds you gently through every day. Chapter 11: Nature's Free Detox. There's something about the natural world that seems to know exactly what your stressed mind needs without you having to explain anything at all. You have probably felt it before without really noticing, like when you walk outside after being inside all day and something inside you shifts. The air feels different on your skin, and your shoulders drop down away from your ears without you telling them to move. Your breathing deepens naturally, and the thoughts that were spinning so fast start to slow down to a more manageable pace. Nature does not try to sell you anything or demand your attention or make you feel like you are not enough. It just sits there being exactly what it is and invites you to do the same for a little while. This chapter is about reconnecting with the natural world that has been waiting for you to come back outside and play. You do not need to hike a mountain or travel to a faraway forest to get what nature has to offer your weary mind. A tree growing on your street has been standing there every single day waiting for you to finally notice it properly. The sky is doing its thing right above your head, whether you are in the middle of a city or surrounded by empty fields. 5 minutes of looking at actual clouds moving slowly can change something inside your brain that no app can ever reach. The color green alone has been shown to calm people down, and green is absolutely everywhere if you just start looking for it. Nature is not something you have to go find because it is already all around you waiting to be seen. You just have to remember to look up sometimes and let it do its quiet work on your soul. Think about what happens when you spend too much time inside under artificial light breathing recycled air all day long. Your body forgets what real sunlight feels like, and your internal clock gets confused about when to sleep and when to wake. The walls start to feel like they are closing in, and your mind gets stuck in loops that go nowhere helpful at all. Going outside, even for a few minutes, resets something fundamental inside you that cannot be fixed any other way. The sun on your skin makes vitamin D that lifts your mood, and the breeze reminds you that you are part of something much bigger than your problems. You are not just a brain inside a box, you are a living creature who needs the living world to feel complete. Your body knows this even if your mind has forgotten, and it will thank you every time you step outside. There is something humbling and healing about looking at something much older and bigger than yourself and all your worries. A tree that has been standing for decades has seen countless storms and still drops its leaves and grows new ones every single year. The ocean does not care about your to-do list and keeps waving whether you are stressed or calm or anywhere in between. The mountains have been there for millions of years and will be there long after your biggest problem today is completely forgotten. This perspective does not make your problems smaller in a mean way, but it puts them in their proper place in the bigger picture. You are part of something ancient and beautiful that does not rush or worry or try to be anything other than what it is. Nature invites you to remember that you are allowed to be that way too. You can bring nature inside when you cannot get outside for whatever reason your day throws at you. Open your windows and let the real air in, even if it is cold, because fresh air changes everything about how a room feels. Get a plant that you can take care of and watch grow, because caring for something alive connects you to the natural world. Listen to recordings of rain or birds or ocean waves when you need to calm down and cannot go outside to find them. Put pictures of beautiful natural places where you can see them, and let your mind travel there for a moment when you need a break. These small connections to nature add up and keep you grounded even when you are stuck inside for long stretches. You are a creature of this earth, and you need the earth to feel like yourself no matter how you find it. By the end of this chapter, you will have new ways to invite nature into your life every single day without much effort at all. You will start noticing the small natural wonders you have been walking past for years without ever really seeing them before. You will feel the difference in your body when you have been outside versus when you have been trapped inside for too long. You will understand why a walk in the park can sometimes fix things that hours of thinking could never solve at all. Nature will become one of your favorite stress medicines because it is free and always available and never has any side effects. You will remember that you are not separate from the natural world, but a beautiful part of it all along. And the quiet you find outside will slowly start to grow inside you where you can carry it everywhere you go. Chapter 12. Your stress triggers and how to spot them early. Imagine driving a car that has no warning lights on the dashboard to tell you when something is going wrong inside. You would have no idea that the engine is overheating until smoke starts pouring out, and you are stranded on the side of the road. Your body actually has warning lights everywhere, but most people have learned to ignore them until everything falls apart completely. That tightness in your chest is a warning light, and that irritability with people you love is definitely a warning light too. Your stress triggers are the things that make those lights start flashing, and learning to spot them early changes everything. This chapter will help you become a detective of your own body and mind so you can catch stress before it catches you. You will learn to see the smoke before the fire starts burning out of control. Let us start by paying attention to what happens in your body when stress first begins to creep in unnoticed. Maybe your shoulders start inching up toward your ears, or your jaw clenches tight without you telling it to do anything. Your breathing might get shorter and faster, or your hands might feel colder than the rest of your body normally feels. These are your body's earliest warnings that something is wrong, and it needs your help to handle what is coming. Most people do not notice these signals because they are so busy pushing through and getting things done all the time. But your body is always talking to you, and it has been waiting for you to finally start listening to what it has to say. Learning its language is one of the most important skills you will ever develop for your own peace. Now think about what situations tend to make these body signals start going off for you personally. Maybe it is being around a certain person who always makes you feel small or drained after you spend time with them. Maybe it is having too many things on your schedule with no breaks in between to catch your breath at all. Maybe it is a specific time of day when your energy drops and your worries get louder and harder to ignore. These are your stress triggers, and they are as unique as your fingerprint because nobody else has exactly your life and history. Writing them down can help you see patterns that were invisible before when they were just floating around in your head. Once you know your triggers, you can start preparing for them instead of being surprised every single time they show up. You might notice that some of your triggers are things you cannot change or avoid no matter how hard you try. You cannot make your boss stop being difficult, and you cannot make your children stop needing things from you all the time. But knowing that these situations are triggers allows you to prepare yourself before you walk into them fully. You can take 3 deep breaths before the meeting and remind yourself that you will be okay when it is finally over. You can build in rest after the hard parts of your day so you do not carry that stress into everything else you do. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can absolutely control how you respond to what happens. Preparation turns triggers from surprises into challenges you are ready to face with your eyes wide open. There is another layer to this detective work that goes even deeper than your body and your situations. Your thoughts themselves can be triggers that set off your stress response without anything actually happening in the outside world. Worrying about something that might happen in the future creates the same physical reaction as if it was happening right now. Thinking about a past mistake over and over keeps your body in stress mode long after the mistake is done and gone. Your mind can create stress out of nothing at all, and your body believes every single story your mind tells it completely. Learning to notice when your thoughts are triggering gives you the power to gently redirect them somewhere else. You are not your thoughts, and you do not have to believe everything your brain decides to tell you. By the end of this chapter, you will have a much clearer picture of your personal stress patterns and how they show up in your life. You will start noticing your warning lights earlier and earlier until you can catch stress before it really takes hold. You will have a list of your triggers that you can look at and prepare for instead of being blindsided by them constantly. You will understand that some triggers can be avoided and some cannot, and you will have different plans for each kind. Your body and mind will start working together as a team instead of one surprising the other with stress all the time. You will feel more in control, not because you control everything, but because you finally understand how you work inside. And that understanding is the foundation that all lasting peace is built upon firmly. Chapter 13: Finding Your People. You have probably noticed that some people leave you feeling energized and peaceful, while others drain you completely empty. This is not random or your imagination, because the people around you affect your stress levels more than almost anything else. Your nervous system is actually picking up on their nervous system all the time without you even realizing it is happening. When you are around calm people, you tend to feel calmer, and when you are around anxious people, you start feeling anxious too. This is not your fault because humans are wired to connect with each other and mirror what we see in those around us. The good news is that you can choose who gets to be close to you and who you gently move further away from your heart. This chapter is about finding your people and building relationships that feel like coming home to yourself. Think about the people in your life right now and how you feel after you spend time with each of them. Some probably leave you feeling seen and heard and loved exactly as you are without trying to change anything about you. Others might leave you feeling tired and small and questioning yourself in ways that did not happen before you saw them. These feelings are information that your body is giving you about who is safe for you and who is not safe at all. You do not need to make a big dramatic announcement about cutting people out of your life completely. You can simply start spending less time with the drainers and more time with the fillers whenever you have the choice. Your energy is precious, and you get to decide who gets to share in it with you. Finding your people does not mean you need a huge group of friends because quality matters so much more than quantity ever could. One person who really gets you and loves you without conditions is worth more than 100 acquaintances who barely know your name. Your people are the ones who make you feel safe enough to be your real self without hiding parts away for fear of judgment. They are the ones who do not make you explain yourself all the time because they just seem to understand how you work inside. They celebrate your wins like they are their own and sit with you in your struggles without trying to fix everything. These people are rare and precious and worth protecting with all the energy you have to give. When you find them, hold on tight and let them know how much they mean to your peaceful heart. You might be someone who has a hard time asking for help or letting people see when you are struggling inside. You might think you have to handle everything alone or that your problems would burden other people who have enough already. But your people actually want to be there for you because that is what makes a relationship real and mutual between two hearts. Letting someone support you when you need it is not weakness, but a gift you give them in return for their trust. It says that you trust them enough to let them see your real life, and not just the polished version you show the world. Your people will feel closer to you when you let them in, and you will feel less alone carrying everything by yourself. You were never meant to do this life alone, and your people are waiting to walk beside you. There may be people in your life who are family or coworkers that you cannot simply walk away from no matter what. These relationships need different tools because you cannot avoid them, but you can protect yourself when you are around them. You can limit how much personal information you share with people who use it against you later in some way. You can keep conversations light and short, and have an exit plan ready before you even walk into the room. You can remind yourself that their behavior is about them and not about you, and let their words bounce off instead of sinking in. These boundaries are not mean, they are necessary for your survival until you can spend less time in their presence. You can love someone from a distance and still protect your peace at the same time without any conflict at all. By the end of this chapter, you will have a clearer idea of who your real people are and how to spend more time with them. You will learn to trust the feelings your body gives you about people instead of ignoring them to be nice. You will practice letting your guard down with safe people and keeping it up around those who have not earned your trust. You will understand that finding your people is not about popularity, but about connection that feeds your soul instead of draining it empty. Your circle might get smaller, and that is okay because smaller circles are easier to protect and fill with real love. You will feel less alone knowing that your people are out there, and you are finding your way toward each other. And your stress will drop naturally because you are surrounded by love instead of constantly guarding yourself against those who do not wish you well. Chapter 14. The Gift of Good Enough. There is a voice inside your head that probably sounds a lot like your own voice, but says things you would never say to a friend you love. It tells you that you should have done better and that what you did was not quite good enough yet. It points out every mistake and every flaw and every place where you fell short of perfect in any way. This voice has been with you so long that you might think it is just telling the truth about who you really are inside. But what if this voice is actually lying to you and keeping you from the peace you deserve to feel every day? This chapter is about quieting that voice and discovering the beautiful freedom of good enough. You are going to learn that done is better than perfect, and that you have always been enough exactly as you are. Let us look at where this perfectionist voice probably came from in the first place, so you can stop believing it so completely. Maybe you had parents who expected a lot from you, or teachers who only noticed when you got things wrong. Maybe you learned early that being perfect was the only way to feel safe and loved and accepted by the people around you. Maybe the world showed you images of perfect lives that made your real life feel messy and lacking in comparison. Whatever the source, this voice has been protecting you in its own misguided way by pushing you to be better all the time. But now that voice is hurting you more than it helps, and it is time to thank it for trying and gently ask it to step aside. You do not need perfection to be worthy of love and peace and everything good that life has to offer you. Think about all the things you have not done because you were waiting for the perfect time to start them. The creative project you have been dreaming about, and the conversation you need to have, and the change you want to make in your life. Perfectionism keeps you stuck in preparation mode forever because the perfect moment never actually arrives for anyone ever. Good enough means you start anyway with what you have and where you are right now in this moment. You learn as you go and you adjust along the way, and you finish something instead of just dreaming about it forever. A messy something is infinitely better than a perfect nothing, and your soul knows this even if your mind fights against it. Give yourself permission to be a beginner and to make mistakes and to be human like everyone else who ever accomplished anything. There is a huge amount of energy that gets wasted on trying to make everything perfect all the time without you even realizing it. You spend extra hours fixing tiny details that nobody else will ever notice or care about in the slightest. You worry about what people will think, and you redo things that were fine the first time you did them completely. This energy could be going toward rest and play and connection, and everything that actually makes life worth living fully. Imagine what you could do with all that time and energy if you just decided that good enough was perfectly fine from now on. You would have space in your life for joy again, and your stress would drop dramatically without you doing anything else at all. Perfectionism is a heavy weight, and you have been carrying it for far too long without ever being asked. Let us practice what good enough might look like in your real life, starting today with small things at first. Your house does not need to be spotless to be welcoming, and your meal does not need to be gourmet to be nourishing and good. Your work does not need to be brilliant every single time to have value, and your words do not need to be perfect to matter to someone. You can send the email even if it is not perfectly written, and you can show up even if you are not perfectly prepared. The world will not end, and people will still love you, and you will feel lighter than you have felt in years probably. Good enough is actually a gift you give yourself over and over again, every time you choose it over perfect. And the more you practice, the easier it gets to let go of a standard that was never realistic or kind to begin with. By the end of this chapter, you will have a new relationship with the word enough and what it means in your life. You will start noticing when the perfectionist voice shows up, and you will have tools to kindly disagree with what it says. You will practice celebrating, done instead of criticizing, not perfect, and you will feel the relief that comes with that small shift. You will begin projects you have been putting off and have conversations you have been avoiding because perfect is no longer required. Your stress will decrease because you are not fighting to reach an impossible standard every single day anymore. You will finally believe that you are enough, not someday when everything is fixed, but right now in this moment exactly as you are. And that belief will change everything about how you move through your one precious life. Chapter 15. Your Personal Quiet Kit. You have made it to the final chapter of this journey, and so much has changed since you first opened this book and started reading. You have learned about your triggers and your breath and your people and your fort, and so many other tools for finding peace. But tools do not help much if they are scattered everywhere, and you cannot find them when you need them most. This chapter is about gathering everything you have learned and putting it all together in one place that belongs only to you. You are going to build your personal quiet kit that holds all your favorite ways to come back to calm anytime life gets loud again. Think of it as your emergency peace kit that you can reach for whenever stress tries to take over your day. You are becoming your own best friend, and this kit is proof that you will always have everything you need inside yourself. Let us start by looking back at all the chapters and remembering which ideas felt the best to you personally. Maybe breathing exercises worked wonders for you and you want to keep a few favorites ready to use anytime, anywhere. Maybe your pity party technique helped you process feelings that were stuck inside, and you want to remember to use it again. Maybe moving your body or going outside or calling one of your people became your favorite way to reset when things felt heavy. There is no right or wrong answer here because your quiet kit should reflect who you are and what actually helps you feel better. You are the expert on yourself now, and you get to choose what goes into this special collection of peace practices. Take your time and really think about what worked because these are your tools for the rest of your life. Your quiet kit does not have to be a physical box, although it could be if you want to make one for yourself. It could be a list in your phone or a page in your journal, or just a mental list you carry in your head everywhere you go. The important thing is that you have it ready before you need it because stress makes it hard to think clearly and remember what helps. When you are already in the middle of a stressful moment, your brain cannot easily search through everything you learned in this book. Your quiet kit is like a menu you can look at and choose from without having to remember everything all at once in a panic. You might have quick things like 3 deep breaths and slower things like a walk outside or calling a friend. Having choices ready means you will actually use them instead of forgetting everything and falling back into old stressful habits. Think about putting different tools in your kit for different kinds of stress, because not everything works for every situation. When you are angry, you might need to move your body, and when you are sad, you might need to have a good cry in your fort. When you are overwhelmed by your to-do list, you might need to pick just 3 things and let the rest wait until tomorrow. When you are lonely, you might need to reach out to one of your people who makes you feel seen and loved completely. Your kit can have sections or categories that help you quickly find what you need based on how you are feeling right now. You are building a personalized stress first aid kit that knows you better than any book or expert ever could. This is the power of knowing yourself and using that knowledge to take care of your own heart. You might also want to include things in your kit that are not techniques, but actual physical objects that bring you comfort. A smooth stone you like to hold in your hand, or a picture that makes you smile, or a playlist that calms you down in minutes. A candle that smells like something peaceful, or a soft blanket that feels like a hug when you wrap yourself up inside it. These objects become anchors that remind your body it is safe and help you return to calm faster than trying to think your way there. You can keep them in a special place where you can find them easily when you need comfort and peace right away. Your quiet kit becomes more powerful over time because every time you use it, you are building evidence that you can take care of yourself. You are proving to yourself that you have everything you need to handle whatever life brings your way. By the end of this chapter, you will have built a complete personal quiet kit that is ready to use whenever stress shows up uninvited. You will know your favorite tools and have them organized in a way that makes them easy to find and use in any situation. You will feel confident that you can handle hard moments because you have practiced and prepared, and you know what works for you. Your quiet kit will grow and change as you grow and change, and that is exactly how it should be over time. You are no longer hoping that peace will find you because you know exactly where to find peace whenever you need it most. You have become your own healer and your own safe place and your own best friend, all wrapped into one beautiful person. And that is something nobody can ever take away from you, no matter what happens in your life from now on. Conclusion: the quiet you carry with you. Here we are at the end of this journey together, and something has shifted inside you, even if it feels small right now. You have walked through these chapters and tried new things and learned about yourself in ways that will keep unfolding long after you close this book. The stress detox is not something you do once and finish forever, because life will keep bringing noise and you will keep needing ways to find your quiet again. But now you have tools and you have awareness and you have a quiet kit filled with things that actually work for you personally. You know how to breathe and how to set boundaries and how to find your people and how to be enough exactly as you are. The peace you have been searching for outside yourself has been inside you all along, waiting to be remembered and welcomed home. The world will still be loud tomorrow, and your phone will still buzz, and people will still make demands on your time and energy. But you will face it all differently now, because you know the way back to yourself whenever you wander too far away. You carry your quiet inside you like a secret garden that nobody else can see, but you can visit anytime you choose. The tools in this book are now yours to use and adapt and share with others who might need them too someday. Thank yourself for showing up and doing this work, because you deserve every bit of peace that comes your way from now on. Go gently into your life and remember that you are always just one breath away from coming home to the quiet that has never left you. You are ready and you are enough, and your peaceful heart is finally free to be exactly what it has always been.